Hello, today I'd like to tell you about the Incubator, what will one day be one of the most innovative schools in the world. It's a school that nourishes the spirit of social entrepreneurship in its learners. Why this school? Because too many schools have incremental change. They are fighting over the same customers, doing the same things with little tweaks in what's called red oceans. That is, they're fighting for the same customer base with other sharks, other schools, with very little to differentiate them. What we're trying to do with the Incubator is have a blue ocean, completely change the way education is done, think about innovation in ways that looks after some of the strengths of the school that nobody else is providing at this point, simply because of the value proposition. Why? Because the current curriculum in many forms within the school constrains many students. It stifles curiosity and creativity. Kids go in early years with a certain amount of curiosity, creativity, excitement, and unfortunately, the depersonalization of the learning experience takes that away. We believe that innovation and impactful action are the most effective ways to inspire and demonstrate learning. This school will be a center for excellence, for creativity, curiosity, and entrepreneurialism, and it will capture a market that few schools in the world are going after. One where creativity and curiosity are at the center, as well as action, and that over rote learning. We'll create pathways to showcase enterprises that are developed over the long term and owned by students using an agile methodology. We believe that this is the best way to meet the challenges of a VUCA world. The question is, how can we nourish the spirit of social entrepreneurship in our learners? We believe that entrepreneurs identify needs, solutions, take risks, are passionate, independent thinkers, just like kids are when they're in the early years, just like kids are when they're young and have the freedom to imagine, discover, and play. We want to keep that spirit throughout the school, from K to 12, whatever that means by the end of the K to 12 experience. We want to nurture that spirit rather than stifle it with some of the aspects of the current curriculum. The purpose and ethos of the school will be to grow real social enterprises that the students will see over a long term, and these learners will work with experts in the community within an apprenticeship models, with goals and success criteria linked to impact, not just the discrete content in their heads. This might not be for profit, but it'll certainly be for impact, whatever that means, and that is yet to be defined on a very personal level for each student. So let's talk about Johnny. Johnny is a student at the school. He has been there since early years. He has worked with a homeroom teacher when he's in junior school, and then when he's gone to middle school and high school, he's had a learning guide. And Johnny wants to be a vet, so his project is going to be creating an animal shelter for the community because there's a lot of stray animals in his neighborhood. So he still works with the learning guide, somebody who knows him very well, who knows him in terms of his likes, his interests, his strengths, some of the areas he needs support with, socio-emotional connection, understands his learning needs, and together they plan out what the animal shelter will look like from concept to launch, as well as moving forward beyond the launch into the upkeep and development and further reiteration of the animal shelter. Johnny works with a mastery transcript that he fills in every time he masters a competency. This is something that he has control over, that he decides when he plans how he's going to meet certain needs. The school has certain criteria for graduation, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. We're working with agile methodology here of plan, run, evaluate, and improve, always thinking about the user, always reconceptualizing what we're doing, not setting up a success criteria from the beginning that we aren't able to move from. We're always thinking about the user and prototyping and thinking and trying and doing again. And so Johnny is working in this model, and he books time in with a science teacher, and he learns about physics and about basic animal care and about the digestive system and all the things he needs just in time in order to succeed in working with animals and having this animal shelter. So he books time with the science teacher and learns what he needs when he needs. He does the same with the business management person, working with her in order to understand customer needs, project planning, cost accounting, everything he needs just in time for his animal shelter in order to get the word out. And he also works with a local vet, somebody within the community that he can stay with, learn from, understand how the business works, how animals need care, learning all the things on the job as part of an internship that is monitored and worked with the learning guy who stays very close at every step of the way. And because this is an incubator, Johnny's going to work with Tom here. Tom has an advertising business. He's really good when it comes to the Adobe Creative Suite. He's really good in terms of marketing, in terms of video making, in terms of everything that has to do with advertising and marketing. And Tom helps Johnny get the word out for his animal shelter. So this gives him not only, Tom that is, his own project, but it also helps him in other authentic projects such as Johnny's. And then when the animal shelter is launched, or throughout the process and beyond, Johnny fills in some of the competencies, demonstrates mastery, and goes with his transcript moving forward. Now, the very important piece here is that Johnny can fill his transcript and demonstrate mastery at any point. He could graduate high school in 6 years. He could graduate high school in 2 years. It doesn't matter because he's moving at his own pace. And then the animal shelter is launched. Johnny works very closely with the users, that is the animals, of course, but also the people who adopt the animals, still going with an agile methodology of continuously rethinking the way the animal shelter is run in order to maximize impact on the user. So the incubator will foster an entrepreneurial spirit in every student and never relinquish that creativity and curiosity they had in the early years. This is something that the learning guide and the homeroom teacher will continue to foster through projects that are at first scaffolded, but little by little, and depending on the student, that will be taken away, and then the student will guide their own learning and their own projects. These are long-term enterprises that are going to be owned by the students. They see it, they run it, they own it, and everybody else supports that, just like in an incubator, utilizing agile methodology and creating conditions for learning based on these enterprises and their reiteration and their impact. That is, launching it, thinking about it, trying to improve it. That's where the learning is, because we're continuously rethinking the way things are done.